When I saw what's unfolding right now in the golf world, I just sat there for a second. Because this isn't just another rumor. This isn't just another negotiation headline. This is the kind of situation that can flip the entire balance of power in professional golf overnight. And if you've been following the PGA Tour like we do every single week, watching the battles, defending the tradition, living through this whole divide, then you already know why this moment feels different. Something huge is on the table. Something that could redefine loyalty, legacy, and the future of the tour as we know it. The craziest part? It involves one of the most vocal defenders of the PGA Tour during this entire saga. And now, there's a real possibility that everything we thought was certain might not be. And trust me, what's being discussed right now is bigger than almost anyone expected. So, before we dive into this, do me a quick favor. If you love the PGA Tour and you're here because you genuinely care about where this game is heading, hit that like button and subscribe. This channel is brand new. We're pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers, and if you're a real golf fan who lives this stuff every week like I do, you're exactly who this community is for. Let's talk about what's really happening here. Rory McILROY has reportedly received a formal offer from LIV Golf today. Not speculation, not whispers, a formal offer. And according to sources close to the situation, it's worth around $850 million. $850 million. Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about one of the largest contracts ever offered in professional sports history. And it's not just salary. The deal could reportedly include an equity stake in the league itself, funded by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. Meaning this wouldn't just be Rory playing golf somewhere else. This would be Rory owning part of that future. Now here's why this hits differently. For years, Rory wasn't just another PGA Tour player, he was the voice. He defended the tour publicly, he criticized LIV's team format, he questioned their business model. At one point, he literally said he hoped the league would go away. He stood firm while others left. He became, whether he asked for it or not, the symbolic leader of the PGA Tour during this whole battle. And now, insiders are saying he's listening. He hasn't accepted anything. He hasn't rejected it. But he's evaluating it carefully, keeping an open mind. And that right there tells you how much the landscape has changed. Because remember, the PGA Tour and the Public Investment Fund have been in ongoing negotiations themselves. The once clear battle lines between the two sides aren't so rigid anymore. It's not black and white like it was 2 years ago. The politics of professional golf have gotten complicated, financially, structurally, strategically. But if Rory were to actually make this move, that would be seismic. We all remember the shock when Jon Rahm joined LIV in a deal reportedly worth over $350 million. That was massive. It felt like a gut punch to the PGA Tour. But this would be bigger, because Rahm was a superstar. Rory is a pillar. He's a 4-time major champion. He's been the emotional backbone of the tour during its most turbulent era. He's spoken in press conferences, at player meetings, on behalf of tradition, legacy, history. His decision carries symbolic weight in a way very few players' decisions do. And let's talk about the ripple effects. What happens to the PGA Tour's leadership structure if he leaves? What happens to player morale? What does it mean for sponsorship dynamics, for media deals, for the tour's leverage in negotiations? And what about his relationship with Tiger Woods? Tiger has remained aligned with PGA Tour leadership throughout this divide. Rory and Tiger have been publicly unified voices during this entire situation. If Rory were to pivot now, that changes the power dynamic inside the sport in a very real way. And from a fan perspective, it's emotional. Because if he stays, he remains the face of this era of the PGA Tour, the guy who stood his ground. But if he leaves, It could mark the most dramatic turning point in modern golf history. Bigger than Rahm, bigger than the initial wave of defections. This would feel like the final piece shifting on the chessboard. And here's the key thing. As of right now, there is no official confirmation that he's accepted or rejected the offer. What we do know is that the offer exists. It's enormous, and he's considering it. Which means we're in that tense waiting period. As fans, we're watching every interview, every body language clue, every insider report. Because this isn't just about money, it's about identity, it's about loyalty. It's about the direction of men's professional golf heading into the next major season, the rankings race, the entire structure of elite competition. If Rory moves, the balance shifts immediately. If he stays, it reinforces the PGA Tour's foundation during a fragile moment. Either way, this is a defining crossroads, not just for him, but for the sport we love. And honestly, I never thought we'd be here. Now I want to hear from you. If you're a real PGA Tour fan, what do you think he should do? Stay and cement his legacy? Or take the generational deal and reshape the future from the inside? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's actually talk about this. Because I'll be honest with you, as a fan who's watched Rory carry the PGA Tour flag through the toughest stretch this tour has faced in decades, this one hits deep. Part of me understands it. $850 million. Equity in the league. Long-term financial security not just for him, but for generations of his family. That's not just a contract, that's ownership-level power in the future of professional golf. And with the PGA Tour and the Public Investment Fund still circling each other in negotiations, the lines aren't as clean as they once were. The moral battlefield from 2 years ago feels blurrier. But another part of me? The fan side? The emotional side? I think about everything Rory said. The press conferences. The moments he stood up when others stayed quiet. The way he became more than just a player. He became the voice of resistance. That mattered. It gave the PGA Tour stability when it felt like the ground was shaking every week. If he leaves now, it won't just be a transaction. It'll feel like the final wall coming down. And I keep thinking about legacy, not money, legacy. Rory already has 4 majors. He's chasing that career Grand Slam. He's chasing history inside the structure of the PGA Tour. If he stays and wins again, especially at Augusta, it strengthens the narrative of loyalty, of resilience, of finishing what he started. If he leaves, the conversation shifts forever. And then there's the locker room dynamic, the power structure, the way it would reshape the hierarchy of the PGA Tour overnight. Younger players look up to him, veterans respect him, sponsors trust him. His presence isn't just competitive, it's stabilizing. So, what do I think? I think this might be the hardest decision of his career. If I'm speaking purely as a PGA Tour fan, the kind who watches every weekend, who loves the history, the rivalries, the majors building towards something, I want him to stay. I want him to be remembered as the guy who stood firm when everything was chaotic. But I can't sit here and pretend the offer isn't life-altering. And that's why this moment feels so heavy. It's not black and white. It's legacy versus leverage. Tradition versus transformation, emotion versus economics. Whatever he chooses, it's going to define this era, and we're living it in real time. That's why this isn't just another headline. This is a turning point. And as fans of the PGA Tour, we can feel it. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you're enjoying real, honest PGA Tour conversations like this, hit like, subscribe to PGA Tour Today. We're brand new. We're building this community from the ground up, and we're pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers. If you love the tour and want a place where we actually feel this stuff together, this is it. All eyes are on Rory right now. And the next move could change everything.